Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathers. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lovely to talk to me, funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Paul, thank you so much for taking the time today or this morning. I love this movie. It's been my absolute favorite film of the year, so congratulations on it, and thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you so much. It's good to hear.
There's this particular part in this movie with your character where he has this line that to me encapsulated a lot what the character was, and it's when he's looking off in the distance and he says, "I've been to places." In that moment, I felt like I knew who he was. Yeah. My grandfather being a World War II veteran himself, I felt like I knew this character. When you're breaking down a script and trying to understand who the person is, do you look for a particular line or a scene that could kind of really inform who that character might be for you?
No, but sometimes it happens, and you're right. That was one of the lines that really stuck with me. And and you know how small he has made his life now, and I think that, you know, having got back from having been a child of the Wall Street crash, you know, he then goes to war, he comes back, and he decides he's going to build this family, and his life becomes about keeping a roof over their heads, I think. And I think that it leads him to sort of self-medicate with alcohol, and I do think it's a common story. I think we all know those people. I know that man in my life. I know him, and they're moving and incredibly human, and their flaws are sort of born out of just wanting everybody to be okay, you know, yeah. So I'm really touched that you picked up on that line, because I think that's his sort of siren song.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and you're right. We all know those people at some point in their lives, but at the same time, he had solace towards the end of his. Or he had a sense of completion toward the end of his life, because he did do the task. He did put the family through a roof over their head and got them through it.
He does,
all
and
the
then
way through his life. So in some senses, although it wasn't maybe the life that he wanted, he still did the goal. He accomplished the task, and I thought that was portrayed beautifully.
100%. And then he's looking after his wife, which is the soldier's last mission, I think, in this case, you know.
Absolutely. Now, this movie obviously was so uniquely done, especially from the way that it was shot, from the singular angle. And doing some research on this, I understood that they had what I think you affectionately called as the Bettany Trench, due to your height having to kind of be able to stay in frame at all the times. What did you find as an actor were the challenges and conveniences of being in that single frame shot?
For me, as an actor, I think that the challenges were far outweighed by the freedom that you actually felt by knowing what the shot is and how you know what it's going to look like. You know what the scene's going to look like because there's no editorial. You know, there's nothing else to cut to. So it's going to be one of these takes that we do, and that was amazing. And negotiating with who's going to step into the close, who's holding the story, and who's going to be stepping into the camera for the close-up, and all of that stuff was fantastically fun and freeing. And you know, things like trenches or standing on I hardly ever have to stand on a lift because I'm stupidly tall. But all of that stuff is normal in movies anyway, you know.
Absolutely. Well, again, this movie I think is my favorite of the year, and you were excellent in it as well as the rest of the cast. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.